Welcome to a channel called English for Emerson. Usually on this channel we talk about English language. However, lately we've been doing a few lessons on social skills, which is ironic because I have few. But, you know, when you figure these things out later in life, you realize their value. And you also appreciate what you did not get when you were younger. And especially for my son Emerson, I want him to have some skills going through life that I did not have. And social skills are definitely some of those things that I did not have early on. And why is that? Well, a big reason is because it's not something that you learn in school. In fact, you learn the exact opposite, I would say, in school. You learn how to disassociate from your body because you spend endless hours in a desk that is very uncomfortable with a hard seat. For me, being big, I could hardly fit my legs underneath the thing. And you push a pencil all day. Listen to someone who's very boring talk to you about stuff that you'll never use for the rest of your life. Spending hours. I calculated how many hours you'd do mathematics in high school. Probably well over 10,000 hours of math when you combine, not 10,000, well over 1,000 hours of math when you combine seat time and homework. How many hours did I get learning about how to socialize and how to communicate? Probably less than 5. Probably less than 5. The other problem with sitting so much and doing so much rote memorization and repetitive mathematics and repetitive language lessons in terms of writing and reading is that you get a tremendous amount of energy stuck in your nervous system, and you don't really get a chance to move that nervous energy through your body, and you become very compulsive and anxious by so much mental energy and so little physical effort when you're at a time in your life when you're the most physical and the most vivacious, the most full of life energy. You sit the most and push a pencil and buttons the most. It's really absurd. And the educational system's a tragedy. We got kids sitting there basically following a curriculum that's based on something probably developed in the 1800s in terms of mathematics and so much language and history and science. History. What a disaster. What an epic disaster. And we've talked in previous lessons about how to start to get out of some of this by inhabiting your body and engaging with people and learning how to speak properly and learning how to listen. Learning how to do some push and pull in terms of your social engagement. Today's going to be something a little bit different, and it's all going to be about deciding what you want to take from your circumstances instead of having your circumstances decide what they're going to take from you. And that really begins in a lot of ways in school. I mean, think about the amount of worksheets and repetitive problems that you do just in mathematics. All the times tables, all the multiplication tables, all the fractions, all the decimal points, all the algebra, the trigonometry, and the geometry. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you talk to a bunch of adults out there and try to find somebody who actually uses this stuff on a day-to-day basis, or even within the last 10 years, I think you'd be very, very hard-pressed to find somebody who used anything beyond fractions and percents in the last year. I think you'd be very hard-pressed to find someone who uses algebra, trigonometry, and geometry in their life. If you know a mechanical engineer, that's great. that'd be great. But I don't know anyone personally who uses this stuff. And it's pretty tragic to think that I spent over 1,200 hours doing this kind of stuff. And I was remotely good at it. But what was the point when I had no ability to integrate with people and deal with the human race? I was so burned out by the time I got even into junior high. I mean, I don't even want to talk about it. It was really sad. I was so nervous. I couldn't even pee around another human being until I was in my 40s. I was so nervous and so I had so much tension in my body around other people. I couldn't use a public restroom until I was in my 40s. I was so goddamn nervous. Why? Having all that mathematics and constant brain energy and having to always be in the high group, it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry, but someone's got to say it. You have to decide. That's what this lesson is about. You have to decide what you're going to get out of your circumstances and not let your circumstances decide what they're going to get out of you. That starts in school. What do you want to take from it? Is it really important for you to be getting out of school with a 4-point average? Or do you want to have a good time? Do you really want to go to a 4-year college? If you do, then that's what you should be aiming for in terms of your GPA and in terms of your, your entire, essentially your application process to get into one of these places. You should be aiming to get to that if that's what you want. If you don't want that, then you really have to evaluate, what am I doing here and what is it that I hope to take from this experience? And I can't decide that for you, but you have to decide that for yourself. Otherwise, the experience and the circumstances will take from you whatever they can get. That goes for every relationship. That goes for every interaction. That goes for every job. That goes for every day. And that's something that I did not grasp early on. I let my circumstances dictate what they were going to take from me and what I was going to do, rather than making a plan about what I wanted to take from my circumstances. I would recommend sitting down and thinking about it. If you're still in school, really thinking about it. What is it that I want out of this experience? And then do what's necessary to get that out of the experience and don't do any more. Same thing with every relationship that you get into, with every friend, with every significant other. Really be honest about it. What do I really want to get out of this? And what am I really willing to give? And then set up some very, very clear boundaries for yourself in terms of what you're willing to do. Otherwise, the significant others that you get involved with may take a lot more from you than you're really willing to give, just because you have no real planned intent. Same thing with your peer group. What do you really want from those people? What do you really intend to take from that experience? If you don't know, you're just going to be going along for the ride. And it might not take you in a very good place. It might not take you in a very good place at all. I would recommend, in terms of, this isn't really a social skill, but any social group that you're involved with, whether especially school, work, or relationships, my advice would be to really, really, really be honest. What do you want to take from those circumstances? Because if you don't make a plan and you don't set an intention, those circumstances are going to take a lot from you.